Yo, welcome back to another module in the Itachi Uchiha course. This was going to be a short one, or maybe not so, we'll see how it goes, but I want to kind of dissect and extrapolate the topic of respect. How do you gain respect like Itachi Uchiha, right? Now, when I say respect, I don't necessarily mean loved, because love and respect aren't necessarily the same thing, right? You can still have fear for somebody and respect them, right? If you look at a shinobi like Minato, right? Minato was feared, right? Because the other shinobi respected his capabilities, his power, his sheer strength. Everyone was afraid of Minato's speed, Minato's agility, and that gained respect no matter where he went. He was known all across all the lands, right? And it's the same thing with Itachi. Even before Itachi was outcasted and branded as a rogue shinobi, people respected him. When he was a good guy, people respected him, and when he was a bad guy, he was respected, right? Respect just means that people acknowledge your existence, and they may have their perceptions of you, like, oh, this individual is good, this individual is bad, right? This individual is this, he's that. But at the end of the day, they still acknowledge your existence. And one of the biggest ways to build respect, well, we'll get into that in a second. So this topic kind of came to my mind when I was watching a YouTube video about Itachi, and in the comments everyone was talking about him joining the Anbu, right? The video was about him joining the Anbu Black Ops at such a young age. I think he joined the Anbu when he was 11 years old, and he was the leader of the Anbu when he was 13 years old, which is just ridiculous, right? And everyone's praising him. Everyone's like, oh my god, Itachi's awesome, which he is, right? But what I like to do with successful individuals, if you want to become successful, you have to learn how to extrapolate and reverse engineer what that person is doing so that you can then apply it to your own life, right? So I'm looking at Itachi and I'm like, okay, this man is getting so much respect. And he's not even a man yet. He's literally a boy. This boy is getting so much respect as if he was, a Hokage, right? Why is that, right? And I reverse engineered what Itachi was doing basically to become a respected individual even at the early age of 11 years old, 12, 13 years old, right? So let's kind of extrapolate what Itachi did and how he got to that level of massive respect, and how, of course, we can apply it to our own lives. So the very first thing, and you might want to take notes, or you can just rewatch this video multiple times. The very first thing you have to do, right, if you want to start building respect, is you need to set expectations. You need to set the right expectations for yourself and for your life. If you don't set the right expectations, you can't respect yourself, right? Getting respect is the same thing as social skills, the same thing as getting girls or getting a nice guy. If you don't respect yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you don't have confidence for yourself, how do you expect other people to have that for you as well, right? People simply reflect exactly what you put out. People simply reflect exactly what they see you give to yourself, right? So in order to build that self-love and build that self-esteem, build that self-respect for yourself, you first have to set proper expectations. If you expect, right, greatness from yourself, other people are going to as well. And so in Itachi's life in particular, he had expectations already set for him. Now, granted, it wasn't just set by him. Itachi's expectations were set by Fugaku himself, right? Itachi had the luxury, you could say, of a very disciplined and strict father. In real life, in our generation, right, especially like with millennials, Generation Z, one of the biggest problems is that none of us have our expectations set, right? Our parents aren't necessarily as strict as parents were 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, right? Our parents are more lenient now. They're more just carefree. And so because of that, parents don't really necessarily instill discipline and instill work ethic and instill drive and focus and all these things, all these beautiful, powerful characteristics and traits that Sasuke and Itachi had. Parents aren't instilling that into their kids. And so this is why someone like me has a YouTube channel and has private students, right? It's because kids and millennials and teenagers and young adults, we're now learning through YouTube because our parents aren't there for us like that. Our parents aren't really instilling these traits into us. And so the only way to get them is to get it from somebody else online, which is, a sad commentary on life. But I say all to say this. Itachi had the luxury of having a parent who wanted to instill great expectations into his child, right? So Itachi, his entire life, from birth to when he died, he always had high expectations for his life and for himself and what he was supposed to be capable of doing, right? And so because Fugaku set these deep expectations for Itachi, Itachi had to live up to them, right? And we've talked about this previously in this course. Fugaku demanded that his son, Itachi, become an excellent shinobi, right? Because Fugaku wanted to pass on the Uchiha as a dynasty. He wanted to pass on his leadership role as a dynasty from father to son. And so them being the most powerful clan in the world, he could not accept, right? He could not even fathom the idea of Itachi just being a half-assed shinobi. Itachi just being a mediocre shinobi. That couldn't slide, right? They're the most powerful clan in the world. They don't have time for weak leadership. So it makes sense. Fugaku was the king and Itachi was the prince. And Fugaku, in order to make sure his prince became the king, he had to set the right expectations. He had to set king-like expectations. So, in the previous modules, when we see Itachi and the way he was living his day-to-day life as a kid growing up, it was non-stop work, non-stop hustle, non-stop missions, non-stop grind. He was always working on himself, always driven to become a better shinobi. And it's because he had expectations set for himself. Every day when Itachi woke up, he looked up, or he looked and he was like, okay, what do I need to get done today? And it's usually the same thing. Get better. Get better. Get better. So, in our personal lives, in order for us to become more like Itachi, we need to set expectations for ourselves. So, you have to first, in order to set the right expectations, you need to know exactly what you want, right? You need to know exactly what you want. And a lot of people overlook this. Just because it sounds cliche, don't overlook this. Really take this into perspective. You need to know the specifics of exactly what you want, because if you know exactly what you want, then you can be extremely tunnel vision. You know exactly where to look at. You know exactly what path to follow, right? Because if you know exactly what you want down to the nitty-gritty details, then you're no longer walking in circles. Itachi was never walking in circles. He knew exactly what he needed to do, exactly what he was working on, right? And he knew exactly what his goals were, right? Because he had the right, proper expectation set for himself, but it was also because he knew the tiny details, right? So in order to set expectations the right way, you need to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, okay, what is it that I truly, genuinely want? Down to the details. I don't care if you have to write out a whole entire book about it, an entire essay about what you want. Get down to the details, get down to the specifics, and now you know, okay, this is exactly the path that I want to go for. This is exactly my vision, and now I can start working towards it. Now, how do we start to gain respect, right? Because that's the title of this module, how to gain respect like Itachi, right? So you set your expectations. Now, of course, I'm going to assume, like Itachi, you followed through with those expectations. So if your expectations are to work hard and better yourself and become good at all these different things, you need to follow through. Once again, Itachi had expectation set for himself, and then he followed through with day-to-day work. He was always hustling, always grinding. I know in one of the previous modules we looked at what Itachi's life was like at school, right? And there's that one scene when he's walking home from school. Those kids were like, hey, let's play throw the rocks or whatever. They were playing with some game with some rocks because they're idiots, right? And they're like, Itachi, let's play this game. And Itachi was like, no, I can't. And they're like, oh, you think you're better than us? And he's like, no, I don't. I just have to work, right? While all the other kids are just wasting and pissing their time away because they never set those expectations. Itachi, who through Fugaku had expectations set for him, knew exactly what he was going to do with all his time, right? When you set expectations for yourself, you now have somewhat a life purpose. You now have a mission that you're on. Maybe if you don't know the full life purpose yet, because it's pretty much impossible to know your full life purpose and exactly the entire scope of your vision. Even if you don't know the entire scope of your vision, you can still know the right direction to go through if you set the expectations. You can still know the right path to walk down if you set expectations the right way, okay? So that's step one, okay? Now let's get into how to build respect. You follow through with those expectations. You work hard, and then you become competent. Now, remember this formula. Remember this formula. I'll put it on the screen. Respect equals competence, and competence comes from capability, right? So it's a funnel, right? Respect equals competence, and competence comes from capability. Because Itachi was working on himself every single day, right, as a shinobi, he became very capable. His chakra levels, his Sharingan, his skill as a shinobi was very, very top tier. So now he was a capable individual. When you become a capable individual, aka you have skill, You can then become competent, meaning you go on missions, right? You do certain things and you win at life. Competence means winning at life, right? So you build the skill through hard work. You then become competent, meaning you achieve something. And once you achieve something through your hard work and your competence, your capabilities rather, your skill, now other people see your achievements and they now respect you. That's the funnel. That is the funnel to getting respect. Respect equals competence. Competence comes from capability. You must set expectations for yourself, follow through with those expectations. So now you have skill, you have hard work, you have focus, drive, all those things. Then you use all those new skills and traits to achieve in life, to win at life, to become number one. And once everyone sees you at the top of the mountain, they're going to naturally, innately just give you respect because you are higher than them on the echelon of life. You are winning more than them. You are dominating more than them. You're crushing it in life more than them. So how the hell could they not respect you? Now, some people may be jealous. Yeah, some people may hate on you. They're still going to respect you because they're giving you attention. People don't give attention to people they don't respect. You know, you look at someone like, I'm trying to think of a good example in real life. You look at someone like Donald Trump, right? In real life, Donald Trump was was the United States president before the current president, right? Half of the country hated him. Half of the world hated Donald Trump. But everyone, to some degree, has some respect for Donald Trump. You still have to, you may hate the way he thinks. You may hate the way he acts, the way he talks. You may just dislike him and not believe in what that man stands for. But you still have to respect him. Because of his achievements. Because of what he's capable of. You see the funnel? You take someone like a Floyd Mayweather, right? Boxer, one of the greatest boxers of all time. Not everyone liked him, but everyone had to respect him. People who achieve gain attention, and people only get attention if other people respect you. Once again, respect doesn't mean like or love. Respect simply means that people acknowledge your existence. If you are achieving at life, if you are at the top of the mountain, people have to respect you. It's that simple, right? Now, let's talk about capability one more time, right? So you set expectations for yourself, right? You know the vision and the traits that you're going after in your life. This is the ultimate paradigm you need to come from, right? This is the lens you need to see for yourself. How do I become capable, MK Brad? How do I become a person, a guy or a girl who's capable of, who just has a deep arsenal of capability, right? I'm good at this, I'm good at that, I'm good at speaking, I'm good at social skills, I'm good at being able to talk to chicks, I'm being able to talk to adults, talk to young people, right? Just how do I build a plethora of capabilities? You need to use your imagination right now and see life as a video game. Because that's literally what it is. A video game is just a replication of life. You are right now inside of a video game. Like, become aware of your body right now. Become aware of your body, your mannequin, your avatar. This is your character, right? I, MK Brad, that's a name, that's a label. It's not who I am. I'm playing a character. I'm playing a role. I'm inside of this body, right? I've given this body a name. I've given this body a personality. This is my character, right? Just like in a video game, characters have attributes. And you work on those attributes, right? You grind and you hustle to build experience points in order to give those attributes for that character a boost, right? There's a character inside a video game, and when you're playing that character, you add on new traits and you boost the traits that you already have. And what does that do? That makes the character in the video game more capable so that you can now achieve higher things in the video game. Go to the next level. Beat the video game. Life is the same thing. You are a character inside of a video game. And all you have to do to become more capable and start achieving like someone like Itachi and start to gain respect like someone like Itachi or like whoever you want to choose. Naruto, Sasuke, you know. Whoever you want to choose from anime or in real life. In order to gain respect, you need to be achieving things, and you do that through capabilities. Okay? So look at yourself. Stop. Everyone in self-development has this lens of that life is just hard, life is difficult, and life is an obligation. As long as you have that mentality and that paradigm towards life, it's going to slow you down. It's going to be very hard to become capable like Itachi. Itachi never saw life as an obligation. Even when things were hard. Yes, life is hard, but it doesn't mean that life is trash. Embrace how hard life is. Embrace the pain. It's part of the experience, right? Video games are also hard, but just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's not fun, right? When you play a video game and you're trying to build your character up, you spend hours and hours and hours failing, right? Trying to beat this level. The level's hard. You haven't beat the final boss yet, and you have to grind and figure it out and strategize and implement new techniques and implement new strategies on how you're going to defeat the final boss, how you're going to defeat this level and get to the next level. Life is the same way. But when you're playing the video game, at no point, you may get angry. You may get discouraged that you lost. You may get discouraged that you have to try again. But at no point are you like, this game is trash. You're still having fun. You know that building yourself up is just part of the video game. It's part of the process. It's part of the journey. But when you turn the video game off, you come back to real life. Most people don't see life the same way. When in reality, life is the ultimate video game. GTA 5 is a replication of life. All video games are. You are a character in a video game, and you must see this life as fun. No matter how difficult it gets, no matter how hard it gets, at the end of the day, it's all fun in games. It's just a game. You can work on yourself and you build yourself up, and you do that through setting expectations, right? I want to be like this. Then you follow through. You then build skills. You become capable. You become a capable shinobi. Then from there, as a capable shinobi with skills in his belt, you can now go out and achieve. You win at life. You dominate. You win. And then the more you win, the more people are going to see you at the top of the mountain, the more people are going to respect you. Respect comes from competency, and competency comes from capability. Okay? In order to get respect from whoever it is, your parents, society, your friends, people online on social media, there's always going to be some, you shouldn't be trying to get respect from everybody. There's always going to be some people who hate on you. Now, once again, when I say respect, I don't mean like or love. I mean respect. People see you and acknowledge your existence, whether they hate or love you, right? In order to get respect from people, you need to achieve. And you do that the same way Itachi did, which is setting expectations for yourself and putting in the work to become capable.